Yeah, we're gonna have some situational stuff and some more hitting on Wednesday. That'll be a little bit more of a ramping up scrimmage day.
What are you looking at? What are you looking for from your guys on a day like that?
Yeah, what we're hoping to find is what have we progressed. Right, you have the first couple practices, and you kind of have your first big scrimmage, and then that's a bunch of great tape to watch. Then you're kind of going, okay, I need to hit a little bit more of this technique or this fundamental, or we got to put this scheme in. So you kind of added those. So now what you're trying to make sure is that you have a building block system, right? So we're kind of getting to the back end of the playbook with our install and situational stuff, and you see those things starting to happen. But the key is, can you put that stuff in and not lose the first piece of the puzzle, A, if you're doing the ABCs, right? You always got to be, A's always got to be consistent. You get to B, and then if you can't keep those building blocks, you can never get to C. So you got to try to make sure that you can get a good look at the stuff that's, like I said, on the back end of the playbook, but also are you carrying over your techniques and fundamentals?
You might get to see practice on Saturday. Garrett Nelson looked like a guy who's kind of all over the place.
Is that a good way or a bad way?
I think in a good way.
Yeah.
But you tell us. But I mean, that's maybe not really a surprise with him. How has his game evolved?
Yeah, that's never a surprise with effort with Garrett. I mean, there's no one that gives more effort and is going to run and fly around. It is for him, honing in on being, very fine with his detail. He's not a young guy anymore. He's got in respect to most of the rest of the roster, he's one of the old guys now. So as far as experience goes and things like that, so we need him to have that same effort and be exact, which he's working towards and knowing and understanding. He's starting to kind of, now that he's moving past football 101, he's kind of starting to get into some graduate level classes as far as understanding where he's going and how to play the game. So when a guy has that type of effort, it makes it much easier to coach the other stuff. You never want to have to coach a guy to run to the ball or give great effort. That's something that they should be able to do on their own. And he's a classic example. Guy does it every day.
Is there ever a situation with him, whether it's in games or practices, where it's important for him or important for you as a coach to want him to pace himself, or did you just go all out?
No, I don't want him to pace himself. That's why I'm here. I'll pace him, and if I see him and he needs to get out of the game, I tell him all the time, you go until you can't go anymore. I'll get you out, and it's not a punishment. Go drink some Gatorade, and then get back in the game. That's always my thing. I want him to go as hard as he can for as long as he can, and then when he needs a break, we'll give him a break. We'll put some of the other guys in there and keep going. Yeah, Isaac's another guy that he's a sponge football-wise. One of the guys that he picks up football and just, you don't have to tell him a bunch of times with the reps. He's a guy that can absorb it. He can watch somebody else do it, then get out there and have a chance to do it. High football IQ guy, and he's another guy that you never have to coach on the effort. He's going to work hard at it. So as many guys like him in the situation where he may not has not banked as many reps. Obviously, a guy like JoJo has 1 million reps in the bank. So it's been good for him to be able to get out there and get a bunch of reps for sure.
How much do Isaac and Javen fall under your teaching when they're also listed as safeties? How does that work out?
Yeah, that position is kind of a hybrid position a little bit, and it kind of, that outside linebacker DN, depending on whether you're in the 4-down system or the 3-down system, can mean a few different things. So they're guys that, and I've said, you guys have heard me say this 100 times already, at this position, you could be doing a safety job on one play, you could be doing a D lineman job on the next play, and a linebacker job in between or whatever. So, those are guys that have those skill sets in which, we really like, because you have to be able to walk out and play coverage on an open number 2 to the field at that spot. But then at the next call, Chins may have them what I call is on, where they're the rusher, and they're basically playing D-end. So there's a lot of crossover in that, and between myself, Coach Fisher, and Chins, all kind of getting our hands on them. I think that's something that's, those guys hear from a lot of different people, but I think that could be a good thing too.
How much of your special teams can you map out the personnel of guys coming out of spring? These are sort of the rough draft list of guys we want, or does that go into the fall?
Yeah, I think it's ever changing, and it's going to go from the spring into training camp and then into the fall, and will probably still be fluid week to week, game to game. So, but what we're doing right now with the whole roster is we're laying the groundwork and kind of getting those, as I was talking about on defense, getting those building blocks down with the techniques and fundamentals. So now all the guys on the roster know, hey, we got to plug you into punt return. They know the techniques. They know how to widen a guy. They know how to bang and lag on a guy and do the different techniques that we're teaching, so that when we do get to the fall, when that depth chart does move, then we are plugging guys in that know what we're talking about. They know the system. So.
Is there a scenario where you could see Cam Taylor-Britt returning kickoffs and punts, or would you prefer one or
I heard Cam told everybody he was playing all the positions, so that's good. The thing about Cam is Cam's a great athlete. Cam is another guy, high energy all the time. He's always working. He's the first guy after practice when they'll pull the jugs out, and he'll work on catching punts. He'll work on catching kickoffs. He's going to work at it, and he's a competitor. He's a guy that shows up every day, and when the game's on the line, he's the one that wants the ball. Some guys you see him melt a little bit into the background. He's the one jumping out in the forefront. So those are the type of guys you always want to go to battle with. Give yourself a chance to win with guys like him.
Is that if you want him to do one or the other, or could he do both?
I think sometimes it depends on a skill set of a guy, and every situation's different. And we also he's going to play a lot of snaps for us. I don't think that's any secret. And I know he wants to be out there, and we got to manage. Where we need him, who else is doing the other jobs, maybe depending on how the gap is or things like that. So that's always something we're going to look at. But he's a guy that I have faith can do just about anything on the football field. He can throw the football a million miles too. So he can do it all.
We noticed that Colt wasn't kicking on Saturday. Is that a long-term thing?
No, I don't think it's a long-term thing, no.
How do you feel like Crawford and the other guys did kicking off and also doing a couple of kicks?
Yeah, there wasn't a ton. We were doing mostly drills and stuff like that. But same thing. And we talked to those guys about being consistent. All of the reps count. You can't go, oh, well, that was my bad on that one. We all know that. We saw it. The ball went 13 yards. We know it's your bad. We can't miss, right? Your shot is your shot. Right now you have an opportunity. You got to go out and be able to perform and make the play. So that's something we're on those guys all the time about.
How do you feel like the punters are doing that?
Yeah, that's been a decent competition. I'm looking for more consistency out of those guys. We got to be able to locate the ball. It can't just be a free-for-all. Hey, one time I kicked it 70 yards, the next time I kicked it 30 yards. There's got to be that consistency where we're putting the ball up in the air and we're getting exactly where we want it. We're getting it located so we can get our coverage down and tie all that together. But those guys, they have a big job to do, and it all starts with the snap to the catch, to the delivery and the kick, obviously. So they got to put that together. And it's not like, hey, you just walk out there and you punt the ball. There's a long process that people don't, same thing. You guys are at that practice. People aren't watching those guys on the side working their drops. So, they're not watching pre-practice where they're out there 20 minutes before everybody kind of going through their routine. So that's not just a plug in and just, hey, guys, just kick it. Everybody wants to say that, right? But they got to work their skills too.
You have such a limited read on Cherney. Do you feel like you have a better idea of what he can do now that he's been here healthy for a while?
Yeah, I think he's still coming along and learning the game, getting more healthy by the day. That was a big injury he had, and so he's still figuring out and coming along. Now he's got a live foot, and the ball snaps off of it well when he hits it. And I've told Daniel the same type of things. We need you with that eye of the tiger to be consistent all the time and make sure that you're competing. And this isn't just hey, I'm going to catch and kick the ball. This is our lives are on the line on this deal. We got to make sure we operate correctly, and it's something that he's embracing, and I think he's a guy that's, he likes to coach like a linebacker, which works out well for both of us, I think.
Do you have JoJo at all this spring? And is he taking any reps?
Well, he hasn't had a ton of action because some of it was planned, some of it's just we're being smart with him. I think as far as making sure that he's going to, when he's out there, he's going to be 100%, things like that. Some of those guys have been around. He didn't miss one single rep the entire season last year, which is mind-blowing. Especially he's another guy who's playing hard all the time. You don't see him taking reps off during the games, things like that. So the big thing for him is being able to stay mentally into it and then helping the young guys, get the reps by going watching, Isaac or Jamie and go, hey guys, I saw this or I saw that, or, when he makes this call, well, you guys should be thinking about this or that, and which he's doing a good job at. So if he continues to do that, I think that mentally be in the right spot and he'll hit the ground running, we get back ready to roll.
Now that JoJo is, you've shown what you do, is this a position that you guys plan to have in your defense going forward, like even after he's gone? Because I know when you guys got here, JoJo wasn't really in that role, and he kind of evolved into it, and now he's really good at it. Do you guys want to have that to say, okay, we're going to have this guy, and we're going to recruit specifically for that position based on what he's done?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of, hey, what do the guys on your roster, what can they do? So you may, you guys have heard me talk about JoJo's skill set a bunch of times. maybe it takes two guys to make a JoJo, you know what I mean, or something like that. So hey, on this situations, we're going to want this guy in the game, or maybe not. Or if you have a guy that evolves into the role, and he's a guy that has the cover skills of a safety and has the physicality of a linebacker, so he can do those things. Maybe sometimes you need to have one guy has one and the other guy has another. So it could be something like that. And I think you never marry your scheme. You kind of hey, how can we use this guy to get the most out of him? Yeah, I think that Javen physically, he's, when you see him, Javen's a real big guy, and I saw he became Twitter famous with the catch that he had. I saw that popping up all over the place, which was awesome. And he's got that great athleticism, and he's super long, and he's another guy with a very high football IQ. It doesn't take him a lot of reps to kind of go, okay, I got you, coach, I understand it. He can go out there. He's not that he doesn't make mistakes. He's going to make a mistake, but he'll correct his mistakes, and that's the big deal with him. So when you get a big, long body like that who's also athletic, you get real excited about it.